All right, well, what's going on? That's right. It's the Floor is Yours podcast. It's your boy TJ the Realist, and we in this thing. Man, I'm gonna tell you, let's pray and give Flex all the blessings that he needs tonight. We are on a brand new platform, so we hope that this works well. If we're having some issues, you guys give us some feedback. We all should be able to see that instantly because we may have to readjust, but we're gonna hope that this thing runs as smoothly as we hope it can for Flex's sake. All right. So we'll be right back with you guys. We're gonna get this thing rolling right after the intro. Come on with it, Flex. See what I'm
Podcast, we want the smoke. Coming round uncut like we want the dope. Whatever you want, paper show to cover the top. Information and shoes, the fashion flies, the cockpit. Y'all ain't never get it like this, cause they ain't never did it like this. We on now, just the way that cookie crumbles for y'all. She gon' bring the inspiration, you know what's up with her. And this shit manifesting is the vision. And y'all gon' love TJ cause he the realest. From the heart of them all, they the stars of it all. You looking for a highline and highlight the rock. The professor, the lesson, coming at you with the lesson. Get your edge if you knowin' what's good for you. They educated, but they still keep it good for you. Won't need another, this one here really do it for you.
All right. Hey, man. People already saw the countdown. They talking about what? A countdown?
Man, we ain't new to this. We're
trying to do some things. Once again, man, hey, welcome to the Floor is Yours podcast. We should be getting some good love from our very own inspirational Sheik very, very soon. You know, she's out there making that grind, doing that thing, making that money. So we're going to roll along and hope she can in and do her thing as she always do and bless us with her presence. As always, guys, make sure you share, invite, get a watch party going on. Get your friends out there watching because, hey, we're going to do our thing tonight. We're going to have some fun with this thing. As always, we got Flex, the producer. Flex, so far, so good. I don't think I saw anything in the comments that said all.
I'm nervous, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm nervous.
He got bubble guts over there and everything. And as always, hey, it's my first show with Miss Tranquil T. It is glad. I'm so glad. I'm nervous because I feel like I'm just in the presence of greatness right here. You know, with the way that you popped off on the shows that you were on that I was not a part of. You did an awesome job, man. We appreciate you for being part of this family. And it's good to have you back. So welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Then, as always, we got my boy James D over there with that throwback Shaq, Orlando Magics. That's what I'm talking about. I told him it would have been better if it was a penny, but I ain't gonna hate on him anyway.
It would have, but this is the one that was on sale.
I feel you on that. I mean, rock with the one that's on sale. You know what I'm saying? So, as always, stick around to the end of the show, guys. We have another The Floor is Yours stimulus check for you. Hey, man. We waiting on our stimulus checks too, so we just gonna bless y'all with a little bit, give you a little snack pack, you know, give you some happy hour love, let you get a drink or two, you know, get a happy hour appetizer and drink. That's about all in for it.
Oh,
I'm talking about she came in full of flares.
You can't jump on looking like Keisha Cole.
That's a new one. She just came in.
Let's go. No, I'm talking about that look. That's that Keisha Cole versus look.
How y'all doing tonight?
Hey,
what did you see?
You were right on cue. And next up is Inspirational Sheik joining us and blessing us with that radiance of glow, smile, and love that she gives us so much. What's going on, sis?
What it do?
All right. Well, you know my favorite part of the show that you'll be rocking, the Inspirational Chic Love Note segment to be coming on. I'm saying she must have knew I was going to talk about her in this part right here, so she showed up right on time. Now, considering the topics for the day, I know Inspirational Chic is going to bless us all with an awesome love note. And Tranquil T, you know, want to say quick words before we jump into this discussion? We're going to give you the floor. We know you've been out for a while. Give you a chance to talk to the people. Welcome yourself back to the platform.
Thank you. I appreciate that. First, I want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. It's been a minute, but I am so glad to be in the midst of good company right now. And I look forward to this discussion. So I'm sure I missed a lot of great topics. James, what did I miss last week?
We talked about the good stuff last week. I mean, you didn't miss it because I saw you in the comments a couple times. You was there in spirit. But we had some really good conversation last week. It was like, look, she already ready to fight. We had some real good conversation last week. I mean, we talked about, kind of opened it up to the audience. You know, they were our special, since you guys weren't there, they were our special guest hosts and hostesses. We talked about the inauguration. We talked about the wonderful poem that was done by the young lady. I can't think of her name right now. Somebody help me out. 22, 23-year-old. What's her name?
Amanda. What was it?
Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon.
We talked about that. We also did a movie review. We talked about American Skin. I'm locked and loaded. I'm ready for my spoilers for whoever ain't seen it. I'm ready to talk about that ending. We talked about, you know, we also had a little mini verses of our own. T.I. versus Lil Wayne, who did the better job of avoiding prison time. That was an interesting conversation. But before I continue, I need to get a critique from Miss Inspirational Chic. How did you feel about how did I do subbing in on the love note section? Come on, give me something. How did I do?
Let me tell you something. Sometimes I be wanting to, you know, go in on James, but James got this little tender spot on me that, you know, he kind of can make me want to beat him up, but then love him at the same time. So I'm gonna give you 2 thumbs up. You did very well, and I appreciate, you know, for you giving me that dialogue for me to come back and forth with, because it's needed and necessary for me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has somebody on here that they kind of go with, and I just feel like me and you, we go together with respect and love, and we just bounce back out of that thing. Buckets,
team bucket.
But it was a really good show. So if y'all missed it, you know, make sure y'all go back and check it out. But that was a good show. But this is about to be a great show.
Right.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for this one. So today's topic is one that the best of us all have had to deal with when it comes to relationships, right? So we're talking about the best relationships are not only conscious of the needs to set boundaries, but they are deliberate with the efforts to set boundaries. Now, audience, we want to get your input as well. So make sure you guys get into this, because it's all about boundaries, and it's not about just boundaries as far as we do with the relationships. We're talking about boundaries with exes, jobs, church, hobbies, you know. But I want to start with the exes, especially when it comes to kids being involved. I'm gonna be messy right off top. I want awesome. You know, I'm just gonna make it what it is. We talking about exes, kids, and everything else. Now, this is how I'm gonna start it off, because I've been in this position before. You're talking about a man that got 5 kids, 3 baby mamas. You know, hey, don't judge me. Don't judge me at all. I got one by ex-wife, one by a current wife, and one in the middle. So hey, I did what God told me to do: marry and be fruitful.
Oh,
yes.
Lord.
Yes. So I did that.
Be fruitful and multiply, huh?
And that he did.
Get it in. Now, so what I want to do, let's start with the exes when kids are involved. So shouldn't the ex be able to call anytime he or she needs to, if it's about the kids? Shouldn't they? Tranquil T, since you back and blessing us, and ladies always first, I'm gonna let you tackle this one first. What's your take?
So I can only speak for the people who don't have children. That's a question mark for me.
Well,
I see. How would you respond to that?
Put it on the other end. What if you was dating a man who had kids, and the ex just felt like she can just call anytime and interrupt all y'all's a long time and anything, and she felt like she had a stake in claim just because she was baby mama?
Is it an emergency? Like, is it an emergency? Are you doing it to be petty, to interrupt our peace and our love that we got going on?
Yeah.
You got to kind of discern that little thing out on the outside, because we know people like to interrupt.
I mean, that's what they do.
Right. So I think boundaries need to be set. But when it comes to children, for me, if it's an emergency, if it's a concern, if it's something that comes along with parenting that we need to work out together, yes. But if she's being disrespectful, I can pick it up. I don't know.
Okay.
And that'd be a conversation. Sometimes the men don't like to be in the middle of that, because they looking at the baby mother, they looking at the child, and then they see me looking at the person at the corner of my eye. You gonna get this right in the middle of dinner right now? But no, I see what you think about that.
About should they be able to call anytime?
Anytime, right?
No. It should be boundaries. However, I feel like when you go in from the girlfriend, boyfriend to the wife and husband and wife place, boundaries should have already been established in the girlfriend, boyfriend, when we know we're going to the next level. Where there, you can't call just any times of night. Things do come up that are important for the children. And in the event that they do, then that's when it's an emergency. However, if it's just out the blue, oh, Johnny fell and hurt his toe, that ain't important. I mean, I'm just saying, we as parents know how to dissect these things. And then it can even, and that's just little. Now you got to sometimes, even when they are adult children and around, that you still got these mamas that want to call for them, and that ain't right. You have to have boundaries. And when it comes down to it, each individual has to set the boundaries for their children outside of whoever. So if the man has them, the husband and the wife, and both of them have them with somebody else, then there are things that need to be put in place. And I'm just talking about what I'm talking about in how I live my life. Now, have I been in a place where there's the disrespect and being not done properly? I have. And I suggest that when I'm with that person, I need you to handle it, because I'm gonna give you the opportunity to set it straight. Because half the time, if that is going on and there is no respect of boundaries, that means the opposite people don't have a rapport with one another anyway. It was already tension, so therefore they can pull and play a card because nobody shut it down. We ain't gotta be best friends, but we're gonna be in a rapport in a respectful manner, because we have kids that involve. And when kids see us acting a certain way, they already know my mama don't like my daddy's new wife, or my new daddy don't like my, whatever. They know, and they act accordingly. They'll get to showing out with you or the additive to the group, and then all of a sudden, then everybody gonna be telling me, well, she don't like me. That ain't it. We have started this mess, and we need to straighten it. So it ought to be boundaries. Yes, there ought to be boundaries, and we ought to have an understanding. That's mine.
All right, James, come on with it, brother, because I know this is gonna be good. Give it to
me. Should there be boundaries? I think there should be not boundaries, but maybe a better word would be guidelines. I feel that, like, I'm not an advocate of saying that it should only be with an emergency. I feel that, a parent should have access to their child at all times. That's just my personal opinion. I think that sometimes some people put their emotions into it. I think that once the relationship is ended and you're in a co-parenting relationship, it needs to be treated more like a business transaction. You got to take the emotion out of it and just do what's in the best interest of the kid, just like you do what's in the best interest of the business. And that's the way that I personally look at it. So I currently co-parent now. And when it comes to my kid, he has a rule that, he's not allowed to use his phone other than between 8 and 8. The only people that he can talk to outside of those times are me and his mom. So he has his own phone. Before he had a phone, he had an iPad so he can FaceTime. He can talk to his mother whenever he wants to. And his mother can talk to him whenever he wants to. I guess my only thing would be, as it pertains to guidelines, would be when something's going on. So, for example, if my son is doing homework or he's occupied, it doesn't mean ignore your mother's call. Go ahead, answer your mom's call. Hey, Mom, how you doing? I'm fine. I'm just doing my homework. I'll call you when I'm done. And that's it. I mean, I don't want to try to ever control. I don't think that anyone should use their kid as a pawn. So when you're trying to dictate how somebody interacts with the child when they're in your presence, I feel like that's a form of control and it's negative. And I personally, I just don't. I don't see the need to deal with it. And like I said, plus when a kid is at an age where they're old enough, honestly, like I don't even see how the other, like somebody said, I can feel it or I can sense that. I wouldn't even see how, because like I don't even want to be a middleman anyway. So just call your kid. We don't even have to talk. And
Yeah.
so like if it's like that, like like I said, like because sometimes as a parent, it doesn't have to be an emergency. You just want to know your kid okay, and I don't want to take that away from anybody. So yeah, like I'm not going to use my kid as a pawn. My kid's allowed to talk to his mom whenever he wants to. The only thing is, like if somebody's doing something, I think that's what you should be respectful of. But I don't think there should be a guideline for when somebody has the right to call their own child. So like you should have access to your kid any time.
Hey, James, bring up a good point. Like it depends on if you're single or not, because that's a big part of it. But I think most people hear this question and they're thinking if you're in another relationship and
I get that too. But what I'm saying is, like, even if it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship, married, or whatever the case may be, like when it comes down to it, I know the way I operate. My kid only got 2 parents.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that I choose to, I will be respectful of the person that I'm with, but at the same time, but when it comes to my kid, like my kid only got 2 parents. So, and again, if whether I'm married in a relationship or not, like if my kid has his own phone, he can talk to his mama whenever he wants to. Like somebody else outside that's not going to even have the option to dictate that. And so, and I understand being respectful of your significant other, but like I said, like if a kid got his own phone, like I don't think that some step parent should be trying to control when that kid talks to their other parent, as long as like the parents have an agreement or however they choose to handle it. So if you feel like that's something that you need to discuss with your partner, that's something that you discuss on your own. So that way, when you come to the other co-parent, then you guys can agree on how you want to. But once you got a decision that's been made, like no, I don't even see how the other person would play a factor in if a kid is being called by their parent on their kid's phone.
Okay, now are we talking about the kids? Because I was under the impression that we were talking about the other parent calling the other spouse. I don't have a problem if you calling your kids. I don't, because mine was set up like that. I'm not.
Yeah. Okay. See, because I'm under the impression we're talking about the purpose of the call is to communicate with the child.
No.
Because if it's not, because honestly, then that goes back to what I said at the very beginning. If honestly, it's a business transaction, like we don't really have anything to talk about. So, like, you need to talk to your kid, you talk to your kid. But other than that, like, if there's something going on, if it's something pertaining to the child, then we can talk about that during respectful hours. I think
that's what we're talking about. Right there.
Yeah, like I mean, but
Yeah,
I guess I don't understand why somebody would be trying to call somebody at 12 o'clock at night about something that has nothing to do with it. If my kid ain't broke a bone, it ain't nothing to talk about.
Okay, we on the same, because you was all over there to the left, James. I'm like, James over there with you came back in. You say today, James.
Oh, my bad.
I'm gonna tell you why they
see. I guess my mentality is all about, like, the reason I said it like that, because my mentality is all about the child interaction, because there's really no need for us to interact unless it's something pertaining to medical or school or something like that. And I mean, those aren't conversations that you're going to be having super late at night. And I definitely don't want anybody to call me early in the morning waking me up either.
Well, hey,
I'm not, and I guess in that situation, I'm not going to answer.
Kristen Dior said she's available on nights and weekends. So ain't no calling on nights and but real talk, they have no reason than to be petty, especially if it has nothing to do with the kids. And nowadays, every child has a phone. Every child has a phone. So if it's about the child, have direct contact with that kid. So there's nothing to be said or done, but other than pettiness. Denisha said the baby mama just want to pull rank. She just want to show I got the child. I run everything. And they ain't running nothing, but they want to try to attempt to run something. So it's about pulling rank and trying to say that,
So,
hey.
TJ, how do you go about setting the boundary?
Yeah, I mean, the boundary for me.
How do you go about setting the boundary, though? That's
communication.
Yeah, you just set it up front. Like Denisha just said, what age does your child have to be before there's no need for the other parent to call then it cut off? And then she said, James is confusing me. I guess this is me, what I'm saying. Like the interaction should only be pertaining to the child. So there should be no real, I don't see how that's confusing. Like there's nothing for us to talk about if it's not related to something important pertaining to the kid. I don't need no just because calls. Talk to your kid for that. So my focus is always making sure that there's always open communication with the child. That's the expectation that I'm seeing.
I think she just got confused from the very first the part we were talking about, which you came back and corrected it. It was more so about the two parent who was calling at the wrong times versus specifically calling the child. And I think that's what the mix-up came in. But I think that's it. She has it now.
I think some other considerations too when you're talking about setting boundaries. For one, we talked about communication. Everybody's different, we're careful to say like, hey, we're not trying to say a right or wrong way to handle things, because some people got the mindset like, hey, whatever it is that's dealing with my kids, if they need to call me, they can call me. But I know that it can kind of get extreme, and now they calling at 8 o'clock, hey, Junior's coughing, and 7 o'clock in the morning, hey, Junior didn't finish their homework, and they're doing it now. And it's really starting to test the limits, like, hey, what kind of access do I still have to that person? So, but again, if the people that's in a new relationship, if they're good for it, then hey, that's y'all thing. But I think it is important to set boundaries, because again, they can kind of get out of control. And again, you're on the phone at all times of night or early mornings talking about any little thing that really could have waited.
Right.
Hey,
Corey said we don't have small children. I mean, mine aren't small anymore.
But even
mine are 29.
Even when I did have a small child, and somebody else said my son is 10 with no phone. Even when my son was small, and like I said, my son's been having an iPad since he was 2, so he can FaceTime his mama whenever he wants to. But like if we're in a car or something like that, before my son had a phone, my son got a phone when he was like 7, I think. Or 7 or 8, before he got a phone, his mama would call me and I just hand him the phone. Like, I'm not even trying to be the middleman and navigate, like, what you want, what's going on, da.
Yeah.
Like, if you're calling, I know it's for my kid. And then if it's something that she needed to talk to me about, he'll be like, no, Daddy, she want to talk to you. Oh, what's up? And then, like, to me, like, our the conversation should only be pertaining to the kid. If that, then just cut it short.
What about this question right here? Corey said women make it sound so easy. I know a lot of times men are non-confrontational and they try not to deal with it. Is it something that you think men challenge to deal with?
I think it depends on the person. I think it depends on the person, because it's a lot of catty dudes out there too, and it's a lot of jealous, sensitive dudes too. Like don't want their kid around another dude. Or I remember like one of my best friends. Like I went to go see my kid at a play, and Dad came and just walked and just took the kid. And I was with my kid's mom at the time, like in a relationship, like okay. So I don't, but it's certain, so it ain't just women out there acting irrational and trying to use their kids like that.
Let me say this. For me, I've been in a situation, there will be no disrespect. I'm just saying. That don't mean I don't care if we wasn't on the best terms no more. It was still about respect. And that's just what that's going to be. Because in the end, like I said, kids get caught in the middle because we don't shut things down. But you're not finna be over here just saying, well, I can call you whenever because that's no, you cannot. You're not going to do it. What we're going to do is we're going to sit down and we're going to get this thing right. Now, I didn't have a mission. I can just say that. My kids were able to have us as co-parenting. over here with, you know, my child's father and my husband. When the things that needed to be done for the kids, we did. Now, if it's something I couldn't handle, then I'm gonna let my husband, hey, I need y'all to sit down. We need to sit down and we're gonna talk about this together. But it's still about communication and doing it healthy, where we know guidelines or boundaries on what's gonna happen and what's not gonna be allowed.
Yeah. Don't need to say she can't even type fast enough. She got so much.
That's what I think she need to be online.
Well, real quick before we move on, my thing is, man, at the end of the day, it's like you said, it's about respect. It's about setting boundaries. Most of us do have older kids and we went through most of this, but we know we've all been through some points in our life and time where somebody's always going to be petty, whether it be the man or the woman. I mean, on both sides of the fence, it's going to happen because each person hates to see that next person move on, especially when they still have feelings or that heart is still with that person. Sometimes they gon' and Flex, you gave them too much credit. You said 8 o'clock. You know that coffin call is coming about 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock. It ain't coming at 8 o'clock. So let's stop that. That's just not real. You know?
But if my kid's sick, I want to know about it though. I'm that parent, so
Even if they just
yeah, I mean, anything going on with my kid, I would want to know. So that kind of stuff don't bother me. But I mean, even if it was a simple text, just to let you know, because you know, you never, you know, because every sickness doesn't start off dire. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you know, if by the time the kid with me, whatever the illness is escalated, what's the first thing the doctor gonna ask? When did it first start? So now I got that information. So there's nothing wrong with having the information, but I think everything may not be a phone call. Some things like, hey, you can give an update through a text. Like, you know, whether his stomach was hurting at this time, went to sleep at this time, woke up a couple times, just letting you know what's going on. And I can respect that. I'm okay with that.
That's respectful.
How many times a day do they call you though? If you're okay with them calling, like, hey, they going through a little brief.
With me, you can call me 1,000 times if it's pertaining to my kid.
So they stomach hurting now. 5 minutes later, hey, he just had diarrhea. Call you back later. Hey, I just gave him some stuff.
I want to know all that. So
now about it,
honestly, don't bother me.
At that time for me, I'm sending a list: Pedialyte, Tylenol, everything in between. Matter of fact, if your significant other is over there with you, can I speak to her? Ma'am, I'm unavailable. I know I trust you because I got to have some trust there with that. And I'm going to trust that the man that I have these children by has enough sense to be able to think not just about his needs, but then that of the circumference of his children. Because it ain't all about just that what I want in that man, because there's some kids attached to this thing. So I want that report. If he can't make it and she's there and she's an additive and she's, you know, all right there, I'm gonna be like, ma'am, if James can't come, Sally, can you help me out? Can you pick him up? James can't get the Pedialyte. This is what he needs. I mean, come on, people. I mean, I'm not want to say people like that.
See, I kind of disagree with that though. I don't.
And that's fine. I don't want to
obligate someone to. I don't want to obligate someone to my. I don't even want to feel like I'm obligating someone else to my child, because like if my child is in the care with his other parent, that's that parent's responsibility.
Well, I mean, you could think like that, but I'm just saying, me having some older ones, when it comes down to not being present and I'm 2 hours away, there's no way I'm not going to say that they cannot be a part and help out. That's just not saying I'm thinking about the well-being of my child. That's how I look at it. Because if they're there and he needs assistance, it's fine for me. As long as my child is not in any harm or danger and they're loving them and to be there when I came to help out with their parent, I'm good.
I agree with that part. I'm
pushing my kid off on anybody or
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not gonna use that method of communication to obligate someone else. Like now, if that's something that they have worked out or that person helps and does things, because you shouldn't even want somebody around your kid that's not like that anyway. So we can agree on that, right? Right. But that's not what I'm saying. Like I'm not gonna call some dude like, hey man, you need to do this, do that, do that. No, like my interaction with I'm just saying like me, like my interaction with and the other thing too is you gotta remember that women are more naturally maternal anyway. So like that kind of situation may work better than like me or TJ calling some random dude. Like, hey,
No,
bro, I need you to
y'all don't give yourself enough credit. Some of you men are so good at being nurtured because a woman nurtured y'all, and y'all come in and be an additive to somebody else's kids. So I'm not gonna go for that one because I've seen too many men that do it and do it well. Now you may not be allowed and come up with that friction maybe against the other father, or whatever, but they out there because I see it being done.
No, and I agree with everything that you're saying, but like I said, like that needs to be something that they have established in their
Right,
home.
communication.
And then if you've been together long enough to where you've established that type of rapport with that person, then it's a different story. But what I'm saying is like ultimately the obligation should fall to the parent. That's what I'm saying.
Pretty
you should
much
be obligated to your own kids.
Pretty much what she was saying, James, is I don't have faith in him to take care of my baby right now.
Exactly.
So could you put the woman on the phone so I can make sure my baby get taken care of? That's all she's saying. That's all she's saying.
Exactly.
Push him off on anybody. Well, hey,
women are trifling. What type? I mean, what women? Christian.
Hey, it's some trifling women. Put a name on
it. Right.
Well, you stupid, boy.
I'm sorry. Hey, it's not Sunday, so I get a little beside myself when we're not on Sunday shows.
You okay?
And ain't no telling what's in the cup. But yeah, so should exes be allowed to call whenever they want to? That's one of the questions that we just got through discussing, man. Make sure to put your input in. We've already talked and discussed some of the things that you guys have. We're going to get to the next one because I know this one's going to hurt somebody's feelings. It's going to touch a couple buttons. All I can say is God bless and amen. Okay? So, but what about the church? This is what we go next, right?
Amen, brother.
Hey, all right. So, church is important for many obvious reasons, right? But church people can also harm your relationships, man. Amen.
Amen.
What are your thoughts about setting boundaries with the church? Because we all know that church folks can be all in your business and thinking they know the right way is their way, and it's always God's way. So give it to me and let me know what you think. Let's open it up.
So that's a good question because, we go to church for healing, for comfort, for support, and all those things we want to share. We want to be vulnerable. We want to expose our issues to get help, right? But it's the people's turn when you talk to your leader or talk to someone that's over the pulpit and you hear your example given to the congregation. That becomes an issue. So it should be boundaries. I look at my church as, like I said, a place for comfort and a place to praise and worship. But if I can't get it in the word, I kind of tread lightly when I go before my pastor for counseling, because I definitely want to have a trust. When you build boundaries, boundaries is a thing that I'm drawn between your safe space and a place of discomfort. So, do I trust my pastor? Of course, you would want to trust your pastor. You go there for your counseling. So, when it comes to do church leaders need boundaries too? You should feel a level of safety with you, shouldn't you? I should want to feel a level of comfort. But like I said, when the tables turn and you hear your example giving over the pulpit, you pull back, and of course the borders are thickens. So, but I believe church people, they're just like regular people. We need boundaries in the church too.
Yeah.
Of our heart and our spirit.
Yeah, that's right. James D, what you got, brother? What you think? Set boundaries in the church?
I think you should set boundaries with any and everybody, because anybody can be too much in your business. We also have to remember that we're not talking about all spiritual leaders, but I'm just stereotypically speaking. Some leaders can have control issues and God complexes, to where they feel like you're part of their flock and they have control over everybody. I done seen preachers call out people in the middle of a sermon. Y'all be quiet up there. You know what? I want to see you in my office afterward. Well, like trying to check people. So I just think people can only be in your business if you allow them. And, so I think you just have to make sure that the people that you choose to share with in any macro society, which is what church is, a macro society. You got good people, you got bad people, you got people with good intentions, but bad outcomes. So everybody's not necessarily evil, but I just think you have to make sure that whoever you decide to confide in with your personal business, that's somebody that you can trust and things of that nature. But I think that there should be boundaries that pertains to how people tell you how to run your life. But that just comes with people speaking up for themselves. Like, you can take advice from anybody, but when somebody's trying to make you do something or tell you what to do or criticize what you do because you're not doing it the way that, they want you to, then that's when you need to have the backbone to speak up for yourself, no matter who it is. Because, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the president. Like, you're still just a person to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, let me just set a little context with that question, too. It was really asked in a manner that we know people go to church leaders for a lot of guidance in their marriages or relationship or challenge. And we know that some people in leadership positions take advantage of those that are coming, and they give some not so good advice, and I've seen them where they or actually end up in a relationship more times than not. It's a male pastor or a leader in the church and end up, in an inappropriate relationship with a female, and so that's kind of what I was suggesting when I asked, but not only that scenario though, but the church, man, it's just a small population of the issues that's going on in the world, so they're not immune from problems, and it's just bad because you go there looking for guidance and an example and what to do and all that, and man, the people are literally preying on people that got marriage problems. So,
and that's why it's so important to go to a place where you feel safe.
Yeah,
right.
Good point.
Well, some people do feel safer there, and unfortunately, they get taken advantage of. So, I think the most important thing is just, to continue to pray for the power of discernment, so that you can be able to distinguish when somebody has good intentions and bad intentions. And we can't, and like these people with these control issues and these God complexes, it's our responsibility not to worship them, not to Red Stoker. They don't need boundaries. It's up to the individual not to put them on a pedestal. So we don't need to worship them or put them on a pedestal. We need to treat them as humans, but just somebody that we can go to. But like their say so isn't the end all know all. They're not God. They're not Jesus. That's what you need to remember when it comes to anybody.
Yeah, all you can do at the end of the day is just hope and pray that you're giving that to the right person, and that what comes back out of it is genuine and taken into true content of the heart, to make sure that they're doing what's best for you at the end of the day. Misha, you've been sitting over there, and I called you Misha because Misha been sitting over there looking like Misha got something to say. It ain't inspirational, Steve. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and bless us real quick. Come on.
Well, I'm definitely gonna agree with Red. We have to set the boundaries, because when you're not seeing everybody praise, but as James said too, discernment. Also, my thing is this: I just can't really take the counseling from leadership that'll try to tell me to stay into something, and they on the second and third wife. That we're gonna start there first. Because if I'm supposed to stay in, the Lord don't like divorce and all of this, and then you on wife number 2, then what makes me bound to stay here when you saw the exit door to leave? It's so many things that come along with that. Sometimes leadership can't help me in areas that you are not willing to be naked and transparent about. If you've been down this journey, then you can come in and I can sit, because I can get an understanding. But if you have not touched the surface of where I've been, no offense, no harm, no foul, I'm not listening and I'm not coming your way. That's just that, because that's how I would be with somebody. If it's not my story to tell, I can only tell you, baby, you might need to go talk to Sally, because that was Sally's story. I can just allow you to inside of that situation, but she can help you get free because she walked the journey. So there's things and guidelines that I just be like, you got to pull back. And if there's some counseling that needs to go on and he got a wife, then I need her to be off in there. But if she don't even have nothing, but she ain't free enough to talk, I ain't going to talk to her either. I do better go and talk to somebody that don't know me, that may be in another, setting, a spiritual setting. Because sometimes talking to people that you sit up under, no offense, no harm, no foul, when I say it, they know too much about what you've already been through. So then what they do is they play on what you've already fed and what they've heard.
Yeah.
And or then they have they have double standards, so they may be more biased to the husband and not the wife. So it's a lot that goes with that. So you do have to find your place. But at the end of the day, it always say this, the Holy Ghost is the best teacher. When you got somebody, just cry before the Lord. The Holy Ghost will make intercession for you. And honey, we're just gonna call that what that is. But we do have to have people that we can confide in, and you have to know those people. And once those that is broken, then you do forgive and you go wrong, but you don't go back to that place.
Right. I get it. And it's the church. Like you said, boundaries need to be set, but get so comfortable because we have faith in those to lead us in the right direction. And sometimes we open up and boundaries fall to the way. So it's about us staying firm and being consistent in hoping that we're the right person and everything. And Amisha, you hit on a very, very good point. I'm going through some things with my wife. Man, I went to a pastor for counseling, and the first thing he told me is, "I'm gonna like this. I've been where you are." He gave me a story that made me feel a lot better because that was a man that had been through some things and was still with his wife 20 years later. That let me know that I just want to see you well. I'm gonna give you some things that help me. If you need me to bring my wife in, she can come in and she can speak with your wife and things like that. But I had better faith in it because, like you said, that person been through it. I felt a little bit more comfortable to set those boundaries to be able to let them know the deeper parts of what was going on because I felt like he could help me if I opened up more and knew that it wouldn't be taken for granted, so to speak, because you got people out there that's doing things. All I can say at the end of the day when it comes to the church is let's just keep praying and like you said, don't fall idle to the man and thinking that he's God. He is not God. He is the one to deliver the message. It's for you to make sure that you walk the path and do the right things that you need to do. So what you got, James?
And another important part is I don't want people to feel like we're anti-church or anything like that. So like you should be open to people and be willing to take help because in some situations that's the only way that you're going to be able to get the help that you need. You have to be able to, I guess for lack of better terms, take a chance and open yourself up to somebody because I don't want people to take away from this conversation that they need to have this barrier and this shell, this defense up from everybody because like for example, TJ, if you would have had that barrier up, then you wouldn't have been able to get the help from that person that you just gave us an example about right now. And then the other thing is, I don't want it to come across as like victim blaming. Like, well, you shouldn't have trusted this, you shouldn't have trusted that person because these are people that are quote unquote put into a position to be trusted. So like the wrong would be on their end, not the victim.
That's a good
agree
point.
with you on that, man. Definitely don't want people to think that we're bashing. We're not bashing. Talking about boundaries in the church and how it could play a part and how sometimes you need to set boundaries throughout your life in any situation. And church just happened to be one of those things that we're talking about at this point in time. So we're going to jump to some of the comments that you guys are making. What you guys see out there real quick.
Denisha said, replying to Nisha, watching from the beginning. Oh, never mind. I was reading the wrong thing.
Let me tell you what she did say about them boundaries. She said, my sons are 29, 28, and 26, and I now have a 13-year-old stepdaughter. Her mom was used to having all access conversations with my husband, but Christmas present this year was boundaries.
She said, but her Christmas present this year was Christian D or your pastor won't pray with you because it's not his duty. Maybe it's something else.
Yeah, I've heard Pastor say that, and it's really sometimes a level of discomfort there because of what's been going on with inappropriate relationships. So some pastors will not get in that intimate setting. Male pastors won't get in an intimate setting to pray for a female one-on-one. I know most of them will say, hey, I need someone else there, but some have even taken the posture that, hey, that's something that needs to come from a male person that you're close to because, the closeness that and the feelings come about sometimes when people are praying for you. So I have heard that, not saying it's right, but that is a real deal, real thing. That feeling sometimes when people are praying.
And then,
I have heard that.
What's that?
Heather Grady, she said to Corey Sanders, that's good, but it's not only you now. So unless it's an emergency, there should be boundaries on what time phone calls come through that phone line.
Ooh, it sounds personal.
Oh, because like she was responding to his comment that I have always been in my children's lives, so it's hard not knowing what's going on.
So she's saying let's set some boundaries right now since we're talking about it. That's what she's saying.
Oh, Red came through hard. Somebody want to read that?
Yeah, my way of thinking is that the problem is when you go to a man looking for an answer to your problems. Man, that's good. The answer is in the wind. While fishing, while walking, when it's you and whoever you serve, that's the only way you'll get your answer. That's what works for me. TJ knows I call what others call God, her, which makes me have that personal relationship with the one I serve. I can talk to her my own way, not the way that others told me to talk to God, personal relationship with her. And I agree, you know, a lot of times, man, especially churchy people, they try to put this boundary or this their understanding on what God is. And I just tell people all the time, to Red point, like he was there or she or whoever, whatever you want, before there was genders, before there was time, space, and matter. So to Red point, I understand exactly what he's saying, that we put too much faith in man and not leaning on the God that you serve. So good point, Red.
I like Ametria. She said boundaries are personal. I set boundaries by what I'm willing to accept.
What do you think about that? That's what you're willing to accept, and that can change from person to person. So to the point of trying to offer advice, I get what she's saying, because someone will tell you, and Misha, you talked about this, someone will tell you to stay when you should have left, and some people will tell you to leave when you probably didn't even give it a real consideration to try to solve an issue. So I agree with her.
I think when you have your core values outlined for yourself and don't waver on that, that's like the innate boundary that you have for yourself. So, setting boundaries for yourself can be something just very innately, like you know who you are and you don't waver on that. And if someone try to penetrate it, you resist it, and that's a boundary.
And we talked about this before. Set them in the beginning. That way there's no surprises. And even if you do set them in the beginning, that doesn't mean that you don't have the right to adjust fire when necessary. So, but more than anything, it's just communicating in the beginning throughout, the relationship too. So, when the issues do come, you're not always blindsided by it.
Right. I mean, I understand, man. But hey, that's some good conversation, man. I like it. Boundaries. Communication. Communicate your boundaries. Let it be known up front. I know it's hard. Y'all want to play the cat and mouse game and think you're gonna do what you want, what that person wants you to do, just to make sure that you get that person. But this day and age, stop beating around the bush. Just go ahead and tell people what you want, what your expectations are. Get it out the way. They're either gonna be there or they not. If they're not, then they just wait for you. Keep on pushing and keep on moving. That's my thing. Before we go to the love note segment, Flex, we'll take us to a quick commercial break. We got commercials.
This for the homie Red.
Okay.
And as always, black owned people. I'm telling you, it's a whole way of life. It's a whole vibe. We talking about reds fall off the bone, turkey legs. No legs on Tuesdays, people. Let's get thrown on out there. There is no turkey legs sold on Tuesday. Tuesday, they always want to come up. If the gate is closed, it's just like the donut sign. When the light's on, the donuts are fresh and hot. When the gate is closed, the turkey legs are gone. Hey, man, but we've had enjoyed a great first couple of weeks, man. Turkey legs are falling off the truck. You can't keep up with them. Also, Beach Road Cigar Lounge as well. The whole way of life is a vibe, man. It's grown folks, man. We play nothing but jazz, old school R&B, smoke a good cigar every now and then, and all that stuff. More than 30 man, with turkey legs. 3260 North State Line Avenue, Texas. Open from 11 to 9 p.m. to Thursdays to midnight on Fridays and Saturdays. Now, if you're a member, you get 2 extra hours to enjoy your smoke if you got a cigar. So, hey, man, some great things. Back on some good stuff. You guys come at least come through, take a tour. I promise you, once you step in the building, you'll be. So, good look out there.
Hey, TJ, what about those that are concerned about the smoke? Is it ventilated well in there? Things like that?
Yeah, we got a great return system in there. But my thing is, if you're a cigar smoker, you know it's gonna be a little smoke. Don't go always.
Yeah.
Away. But based off of some areas that we frequent and went to, it's nice, man. The smoke leaves out pretty well ventilated and everything. So it's pretty good.
And that's why I brought that up, because I've heard that about that place. So I just wonder. I know a lot of people are concerned about that. So it's something that they don't too much got to worry about.
Yeah, and hey, don't listen to when they say women don't smoke cigars. This is a new culture. There are more black women that smoke cigars than men, and smoking better than most men. And so I'm telling you, it's a whole vibe. Just come out, hang out, enjoy yourself. We got 11 TVs that got your remote, the name on the remote. Watch all your shows. You want to spend some time with yourself. It's BYOB. All we ask is just don't bring no ice, no mix. Your setup is with us, man. So it's a good look. It's a good look. Red and Juan Green, they did their thing. Shout out to Juan over there overseas. I believe he's in Kuwait, one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, he gone again?
Yeah, he gone again. Making that money.
Yeah.
So a good shout out. So Ms. Tranquil T, you want to bring us on to the next segment? I've been waiting for this. I know it should be good.
I want to introduce to those out there this inspirational cheat. She's going to give us our love note segment. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, sweet love, Reagan Flower yourself, girl. I appreciate you. What's so ironic about this boundary thing is that something has happened to me, and it made me set new boundaries tonight. Of course, I'm loved by people and all of these different things, but actually someone began to take pictures and made a whole new page named Gabby and all that. And so I'm an investigator by nature, right? So I actually had a FaceTime conversation tonight with somebody that was on the page, right? And so then not only that, what really got me tonight was I said, can you go to the photos to show me what they had, what pictures? And it was quite a few pictures. It began to bother me because now with pictures of me and my children, Christmas time, and then my goddaughter, which is she's an infant, she's only 3, but this was an old picture. So now boundaries had to be reset. I had to now change all of my public settings on certain pictures. Everything had to go strictly to friends only. And that was okay. Now, at the same time, it would make me feel like I was now being confined in a place that I thought I was free enough to be free. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, no, but in order to be able to be where my family's safe or whatever, then the boundaries had to shift and change. And at the same time, it still goes back to what we're talking about. Boundaries have to be set in order for things to be healthy and to run and to be reciprocated in the right form in the matter. And if this had to happen in order for me to say, you know what, everybody's not going to be receptive of you in the right manner, because then on this page, she's acting like she's bisexual. Either she like women and she like men. So this is my face, but it's how she's portraying it. However, it began to make people think about it. He actually said it. You are the way you look, that this particular woman is so much class that this wouldn't even be her talking. But with the access of that, the boundaries that this person wanted was to be able to get access to all these people that she's got over 1,000 people now off of my face my whatever, and different things like that. So even when you think about boundaries, we get on this social media and they say we have boundaries that we have to go by. But if I'm following the boundaries, yet again, if somebody chooses to be disrespectful as people in relationships, then who's held responsible and who's going to get the consequences? Because yet again, they never shut Gabby down, because it has to be so many times that this has to be reported. And that's how we do in relationships. It's so many times we got to keep, we're saying, I need you to do better with handling this situation on being parents or however you want to do it. So it repeats itself throughout our relationship across the board if we truly just look at the matter at hand. So when I had to watch and learn from this particular area, that I had to now put myself in a position to say, you know what, I have these boundaries. What happened? Where everybody at? Okay.
We're still here.
Okay. It was just saying that, you know, I have to take control of this situation. And at first I was kind of cool, but when it got deeper with my kids, then it was something that like, no, if I got to put it out there bigger than what I did, because I just put it out there, but I didn't tell people to go bombard and say, hey, my friend has been violated and this, she's got my friend's identity, because that's the only thing, the reason why things will change, because now I have to communicate with people in a different manner that are my friends and say, I need you to do this on my behalf because I need you to help out in a situation. So when we begin to know that when we get people that are additive to our lives, our children's life, that they're just here to be an additive to help be a secure place for our children and just relationships, and we know those lines that you cannot cross, then we begin to be on a different playing field. So I would just suggest that you do take out the time to set boundaries in every aspect of your life, and don't allow people to feel like they can come and do what they feel like they want to do because they just feel like they can do it, because it's not right. So that's what I would say basically in this manner. Every aspect of your life, relationships from big to small, you're going to have to set some boundaries, or per se, guidelines, as James would say. You got to set it, and you have to say what works for you. And when it works for you, you do that. But when it gets to be disrespectful, you have to have enough within you to say, we need to sit down and we need to talk about it, or I got to do something to handle this situation that now violates the boundaries that I have set forth in my life. And I feel like when we get to that place, we just have to learn to be, hey, selfish and selfless in situations, and understand what these boundaries are set for, and don't allow people to disrespect, to try to be what they say authoritative, or take control, or take your voice from you. You got to have a balance in relationships, and I'm talking about all of them, because even your kids have to have boundaries, and sometimes we don't look at it from that particular point either, because kids know how to play each other against one another, and when they're good at doing it, they know how to play, especially if they daddy's girls, mama boys, whatever. They'll try to cause some havoc, because they know if my mom and dad have not shut down the boundaries that I cannot cross, then I feel like I got free reign. And we do the same thing. So just take those things to know that people will come for you, whether you're looking for it or not, and they will try to do it. So at the end of the day, hey, let's just go on and set them boundaries, and we're gonna go into the next stimulus check, because I ain't got no money to give you. I just got advice.
All right, so now trying to get to, so we talked about it earlier. We talked about, we got prizes, we got gifts, we got money, we got things to give away. We're not capping, as the kids say. No cap, no cap. Last week, somebody won twice. That ain't gonna happen no more. Somebody won twice, but shout out to Sheikah, who won the money 2 times, and then also Christian Dior, she won the shirt. So I'm about to ask a question. Everybody ready? Everybody got the fingers on the keyboard ready to type? First come, first serve. Whoever get the question right, you get the money. We giving that money, right, Flake?
That's it. Yep.
It's bread. It's $30. $30. You can do a lot with $30. They can pay some of our phone bills. They can cover your Netflix and your Hulu account at the same time. You can do so. Don't try to act like $30 is not a lot. If you lost $30, you'll be mad. So don't get it started. That's my rule to anything about money. Anybody who tries to, that ain't a lot, would you be mad if you lost it? Thank you. Anyway, here go the question. What is the name of Tranquil Teas organization? We've had conversations about this organization maybe twice, 2-3 times. So you got to be a loyal follower to know the answer to this question. We ain't giving no clues.
Oh, I was trying to put
no
up
clues. No clues. You got this is for the down members of our audience, the people who've been around, stick around, stay down. So this for y'all. No clues. I'm waiting. Tranquil Teas organization.
Where y'all at? Where y'all at?
Hey, we're gonna give 2 minutes, and then not, I'm keeping my money.
While we waiting on that, Denisha want to know what's in that cup, TJ.
Water.
He said,
It got water in it. It's water based.
the ice done came through and took over.
The ice.
Oh man.
Ice is the water. Hey man, while we waiting,
Yeah, I'm like,
Denisha,
go ahead.
real quick. It was one part of that takeover with Gabby that I was like hoping was true. I'm like, my girl done went from air smoke to some real smoke. Let me come on.
Sucker. Yeah, because I said it gotta be the weed, Gabby, because she had weed on the page. Gabby I said got to be the weed for me to Gabby smoke it.
Yeah. Yeah, get Gabby on the show.
Yeah, Gabby.
Let's get Gabby. We want Gabby.
My comments are delayed. Does anybody see if anybody's responded? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think anybody know it.
Y'all don't.
Y'all must know this. Come on now. It's right. Must know this.
They can't cheat because my name is not on my
But they must know this though. They were listening.
Lord, Denisha said it's a tea business. Oh, tea, Frank. Well, she's probably trying to think about when you talking about juicing. Probably remember that.
That's all right. If they don't know it, I set it up perfectly. So in about 30 seconds, we're gonna let her tell everybody about her organization. So I get to keep my $30. And she get
Kingdom Daughters.
No,
sisters, not Kingdom Daughters.
I need a buzzer.
He said y'all love failure. He didn't want to get that $30 away tonight.
I don't have it. This is the closest thing I have to a buzzer right now. Mr. Rogers is our buzzer. You hear him talking, you're wrong.
right.
Impromptu.
Dun, dun, dun.
Y'all must know the answer to this question. Come on now. I know it, so you must know. If I know, you must know.
6.
I know, you must know.
Wow. Maybe stupid.
Yeah, if I know, you must know, and I must know because you know.
10, 9, 8, 7.
I know. Well, you must know.
And game over, man. All right. No winner. So
Answer to the question
We
was,
tried.
here it comes right here.
So Gerard, you really, you that was a good one because the company is launching. So the company is called IMUST, IMUST, and IMUST is an affirmation. It's so much power of an affirmation. In the midst of trials and tribulations, affirmations is what help you get that strength to continue to live, right? So I'm building a company around I must. I must mean to defy the odds that are set before you and conquer fears that arise within. It's an obligation to oneself to rise above. So we are building a community of people who want to rise above their current situation, who wants to defy the odds no matter where they find themselves. And we're building a community based upon coaching. We'll have a platform for apparel, technology, philanthropy, outreach, and visual creativity, such as commercials and motivational mediums, such as commercials and blogs and interviews, right? So that's the gist of I Must.
Okay. And you see over here, we got the Facebook page and the Instagram page, how to follow you.
Yes, you can follow that on Facebook, I Mustify. You can follow it on Instagram as well as we continue to build that platform. So I welcome you to join me as we build that platform for I Must. I Must came to me pretty much at a time where I needed it the most. I would declare I must of some sort every day. I must win, defy the odds. I must stay at a state of mind of peace. I must know I'm a winner. I would declare I must every single day or every second if I had to, in order to get past my current situation, in order to feel like I'm a winner. So I must is an affirmation. It's a prelude to the affirmation that you will set for yourself. So we are definitely building a community around that, and it will come in the form of coaching, apparel, and some more platforms. So you'd have to tune in as we continue to build this community. And I'm looking to see each and every one of you guys on those platforms too.
Oh yeah, we in.
Because we must.
I must. We're not in the business of teaching and preaching wealth. We're teaching winners at whatever level you're on.
Yeah, I like that. Cool.
All right. We was trying to give it to you. I must know you. I mean, y'all wasn't catching.
Yeah, we kept saying you because you must know. I must know.
Yeah.
Denisha says she did say to me, yeah, I think you may have been transitioning or something. D, you missed it.
You didn't give them a hint. You didn't even give them the logo or anything so they can see.
James told me.
He didn't want to get that money.
Huh?
You have another question?
It ain't my money. Come on, y'all. Let's think of something else to blow Flex money. What y'all got?
We go one. What floor is Tanya on in that hotel?
Say it again.
What floor is Tanya on at the hotel with that view? Ain't nobody gonna guess that one, man.
Penthouse suite.
Hey, real talk. I'm jealous of that view. I need that as a backdrop.
I know.
It's pretty.
Who remembers what
You must
city
go
she
pay
in?
$30.
No, that's you. We gotta think of a way to give away Flex money, y'all. Come on.
I tell you what. If we don't get rid of it today, we're gonna double it on the next one.
How about that? Let's do it. How about that?
That's good. That's a good idea with Flex money.
Penthouse, baby. They said she in a penthouse.
Yeah. We'll double it next time.
We're gonna let him double his checks.
$60 next show. $60.
Y'all better be on it. You ready?
Yeah.
I think it's more creative way to give away Flex money.
I mean, why not?
It ain't mine.
Even though
And all ones.
Hey, Misha, even though we still been waiting on our check, huh?
Hey man, this the year, bro. You see this new software? It was well spent.
I like it.
I mean, but we didn't have a say in how much you spent. You should have got with us, and we'd have been like, dude, no, I was playing.
I mean, did we have a vote in this?
Not nothing. I mean, he even got a new little logo in the back of his head, which is really popping on that wall compared to that other one, you know. So, hey, if we could just get that little fro in the pick out the way, we could see it all.
Our vote was the percentage of our investment.
What'd you say, James?
Oh no, James. I don't know what James said.
I said our vote was the percentage of our investment.
No.
And Sheikah said she appreciate the money she won.
Oh, we know. What you do with the money, Sheikah? What you do with the money?
Sheikah, James said, what you do with the money?
Don't you reinvest it into the business?
He said, in other words, he said, send it back.
Man. All right.
Hey man, Flex. So far, I like the new setup. You know, we're able to all see, you know, the comments as they roll through. You got stuff popping in the corner, the stimulus check, you know, and the questions popping up and everything. I see the potential.
The technology was so advanced, people didn't even catch that he moved just to inspirational only with her name under her. People thought they lost us. They wasn't even on it though. They wasn't even on. The technology was so on, people didn't even know what they was on. Like he just went to her only. He went to his producer bag. Went to the person that was being
in the middle shockwave.
I mean,
she didn't even know what was going on. He just went into his producer bag right now and just put the tag that he the ish.
I know. Take the keyboard away from him.
I'm so take everything right about now. Done gave him a whole new toy to play with.
Man.
And if you see that right there, we're also broadcasting live on the YouTube channel. Spread the word, baby. We got we high tech right now.
Hey, yeah, I guess we get our check. You had to spend it somewhere. I guess it's all right investment. It's all right investment. Hey, but we're gonna wrap the show up as always, man. We've had fun tonight. Setting boundaries, man. You know, He said, "Y'all ain't, man, get that out of here." You know what I want? What? Get ready to queue up. Get ready to queue up your part. You type it up and make sure it's ready, because I want you to make sure it's down at the bottom. Okay. But this has been a great show. Boundaries, communication. You know, every part of your life and aspect needs boundaries, guys. So we're talking about from work, with your relationship, church. You know, even some of your friends, you need to set boundaries. You know, you don't need to tell them everything, because it'll come back and bite you. But got any? Then we're gonna go around with parting thoughts. But real quick, make sure to follow Miss Cookie's Coach Cookie page. She's not here with us tonight because she's out there getting people in beast mode. Man, I'm talking about. I heard she like a drill sergeant.
Oh, she is, and she's so cute because I'm a part of the group now. You know what I'm saying? And I missed out dancing with her tonight because I was with y'all. So.
Oh, you gonna blame that?
But I can get on virtual with her. We can do it anyway. But I'm just saying, I can make sacrifices. That's all I'm saying.
We appreciate you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, because she be saying stuff like this. When you make a noise and you be like, "Oh, Jesus." She said, "Yeah, all that right there, all that right." I said, "No, not all that right there, Cookie."
Oh, man.
All right, parting thoughts. Ladies, I'll let y'all go first. Miss Inspiration Sheik, what you got for us?
Nothing.
All right. Let the church say amen. And
Amen.
All right. Tranquil T, it was lovely to have you on the show. And for you, for me to be a part of this with you for the first time. Look for more great shows to come. I'm going to let you have any parting thoughts or words that you got while we get ready to roll on out of here.
No, my word for the year is grateful. So I just want to pass that on along to each and every one of you. Grateful.
Grateful. Be grateful. Indeed. James D, what you got, brother?
This is what I got for y'all. Leadership is responsibility. There comes a point when one must make a decision. Are you willing to do what it takes to push the right buttons to elevate those around you? If the answer is yes, are you willing to push the right buttons, even if it means being perceived as the villain? I have nothing in common with lazy people who blame others for their lack of success. Great things come from hard work and perseverance. No excuses. Those are the words of Kobe Bean Bryant. It's been 1 year since that man passed away. God bless him and the other people that lost their lives on that helicopter crash a year ago. Still praying for him. His legacy still continues to live on.
Like
Mamba hard words.
Yeah, man.
Mamba mentality.
Mamba mentality.
He be pulling stuff out the hat. I don't even got a hat for it. I don't even have a hat for thing. It's like trying to find everything in the purse. What you got, Jay? Oh, I got gum. I got hand sanitizer. I got stuff in your head. I got stuff in your lips. I got earplugs in case somebody talking. You don't want to listen to them. I got a little chain for the vending machine, but I got it, and I'm just pulling out when you need it. Okay, James.
Appreciate it.
Hey, man, leave the black MacGyver alone over there, man. He doing his thing.
No, that was a compliment. I just put laughter with it.
What you got, Flex? Any parting words? What coming shows you got?
Yeah, real simple. Stop arguing with smart people. Man, you ain't gonna win, man. Let them have it. Yeah, so especially when it comes to this pandemic, I ain't ever seen so many non-medical COVID experts in my life. But I'm just gonna say, quit arguing with smart people. But other than that, come on. Hey, I'm sure y'all can feel me on that, right? But hey,
don't argue with the wind.
Yeah, she just started word. She said, "I knew he was coming." She said, "I'm just so glad he came correct all. I'm glad he come correct all the time." James, she gave you a thumbs up.
First time everything.
Hey, James.
You could have just said thank you, James.
I appreciate it.
James, that was good. That was real good, James.
Yeah. So also upcoming show Thursday. All you small business owners, inspiring business startups and all that. We got a good show for you Thursday. We got a guy's name is Joshua Poindexter. He's actually from Texas County. He moved away years ago, but he's gonna be on. He's gonna talk about whether or not you should go with LLC or sole proprietorship. He's going to talk about how to legally and morally reduce your tax burden, right? So you can keep some of that money in your pocket or invest it in your business. He's going to also talk about how to free up day-to-day money, man. One of the biggest fleecing of America is fees, overdraft fees, late fees with your bills and all these other kind of fees, startup fees and early cancellation fees, like how to better manage your business so you can save yourself literally hundreds of dollars. So he's going to talk about that and a whole lot of other stuff. This Thursday, the show is going to be at 7:30. So please, if you're looking to understand how to better manage your money, you got a small business, or you got questions about that, come join us. It's going to be a pretty good show.
That's gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm gonna miss that. I might have to come on the cusp of it and break it.
It's always the replay for those that can't watch.
I know. Hey, that's why we record these things,
Yes,
man. It's always there for you. Just go back and watch it again. Say, man, always we thank you guys. It's been a great show. It's always fun being with the crew, even though we're missing one tonight. But I know she's doing her thing. I know she's probably glad that I'm here so I can be in the driver's seat. I think she's been driving way too long. I think she's starting to develop a nervous tick and everything in the driver's seat. So we're going to give her a break here and there. But we miss you. Thank you.
She had no nervous teeth.
Do what?
I said, you gotta go. She ain't had no nervous teeth. She was tickled this time.
I'm sure. But hey, make sure you guys continue to push and follow the page. Stay updated for upcoming shows. As always, the floor is yours. So anything that you guys want to hear from us, make sure to inbox the page, and we'll make sure we put it together and give out 2 cents. By any means, not by no means are we experts. We just like to give you what we think is on our hearts and spirits, and try to engage and try to bring somebody on that may just go just enough to make it sound good. But outside of that, the floor is yours. We appreciate you. It's your boy Jay the Realist, my boy James D, Tranquil T, Inspirational Sheep, and my boy Flex.
It's your boy Flex.
See, y'all was trying to fight. We killed that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wait.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Cue the outro, man. We'll say y'all on the next show. Y'all don't miss Thursday's show. It's going to be a big one. Come on with it.
Where the money resides, where the money resides.
Big bro Gerard in the podcast crew. From Jay the Realist, Mr. Jay the Professor, and you can't forget about the inspiration shit. They talk about it all, got advice for us all. You know I keep the talk. On the weekdays, the weekends, they be live with the topics. Then they do the segment where the floor is yours. You can post your comments, you can post your statements, yeah. You can your questions.
So depend. Hold on one second.
They can help you. Advice on finance, advice on healing, advice on credit. This podcast you need to check out. Go ahead and tune in. You feel what I'm talking
Peace. More peace. It's time, man. We out this thing.